Well, what do you do when you wake up having no inclination to go fishing, you had no plans to go because the weather was meant to be horrendous, and it just so happens the weatherman got it wrong? Well, you do what I do. You grab a rod, a net and a bag, and you make the most of it. Now, the only problem is the river currently looks like this. Which is a bit of a bummer, but we will make of it what we will. Look at the bright side and all. It will probably funnel the fish into one area or a handful of areas. They'll probably be sitting in the slacks. So we're not going to fish the whole river, not going to spend time covering water where they're not going to want to be sitting that far stuff. We're going to find the slacks, target them with big lures, big presence in dirty water, and just see what we can make of it. Let's do it. What are the chances of that? So I've just I've made about 3 casts and reeled into this snag, but actually what I've caught on the snag is not the tree itself, but another lure. Like, I've actually gone through the split ring. It's an old lure, but what are the chances of that? Oh well, it's a lure at a tree. Okay, so I just worked my way a little way upstream, and I sort of, in my mind, I think, oh, I'll find the slacks and just fish into them, but it's quite a straight stretch that, and there is no slacks. So, plan B, we're going to walk back the other way and fish downstream. Now, although this is a river, you may have noticed from some of the B-roll I put in, there is locks, so it is a canalised river. And where I am now, it sort of splits off into the navigation part of it that's been canalised, and then out into the tidal part of the river. So a lot of the flood water gets taken out into the tidal, which means everything below this lock gate slows down a little bit. It's still up, it's still swollen, but it's just not raging. And there's a bit of colour in here, but what you find with it is the further I move down towards the end of this part of the river, the clearer it gets. It's not going to be gin clear, but it's going to be better than it is here. So I'm going to walk down, just try to find some light looking spots, and just all I want is one bite. I don't care what it is. Jack, a 20 pounder, I don't care, anything. Yes! Yes! I need that fish to swim out into the middle of the river a little bit. Oh, it's literally a jack, tiny little jack. Oh my God. What was he thinking? Get to that. Now that is better than staying at home. It's a tiny little jack. I am amazed it thought it could get that Wolf Creek shad down its throat, but it wouldn't ever go. Yeah, and that's broken the blank. It's meant getting out of bed, looking out the window, judging whether I wanted to go or not was all worth it, because now I've had a fish, and anything after this is a bonus. So we'll get it back and see if we can get another one. Well, I have walked a fair old way actually. Could cut the mile, maybe more. And that one fish sort of got to show for it. I was just sort of getting into the area where the water's starting to clear. I've had a lot of pike in the past. It's one of the areas I really fancied. And there's a match on. My fault, I didn't check the match calendar. Nothing I could do about it. So I sort of think I'll head back, have a few casts in some areas on the way back. I'm sort of fishing over the same areas I've already fished now. and then I'll decide what I'm going to do, whether I'm going to call it a day, go home, have a nice roast dinner with the family, or be the lunatic angler that I am and try and find somewhere else. So I've got about 1.5 miles, 2 miles walking to work it out. Well, the rain that was meant to come this morning has now turned up, so I think that is going to be a good place to end my session. I was sort of considering driving down sort of below where the match finishes and trying to fish that section down there. But to be honest, I'm against it anyway. The river's not in great nick, and just being out in the rain, cold, really isn't that appealing. So I'm going to call it a day. But I figured before I do, I just wanted to quickly jump on and just show you what I was using. So I started off, you might have seen earlier in the video, I was using the Ilex Dexter shad in 25 centimetres with 10 gram nose weight. Now, I was using that with the idea of being able to fish through the faster moving bits of river and then sort of swing it round into the slacks. But as it turned out, when we moved on to the bit of river that I wanted to fish, there was no real flow. It was coloured, but no flow. So I opted to swap to a smaller bait, with a smaller weight as well, with 5 gram nose weight, but the colour choice was really important. So this is what I opted for. This is, I think it's 18 centimetres. It's a Wolf Creek shad in this black and purple colour. I don't know the names of these, but I'm sure if you was to go and look yourself, you'd see which one this is. And like I said, I've got a 5 gram nose weight on there, and my thinking behind that, by wanting to fish a black shad, is if it's going to be coloured. I know a lot of people tend to go for and reach for bright colours when the water's sort of dark and dingy. It's not the way I like to go. I like to go contrast, like up the contrast, and you can't get any more contrast than black and purple. That just tends to show up in darker water for me better than a really bright colour. And I sort of picked that up from fishing the Midlands canals for zander, which are almost or always coloured in some way. You know, if you get a tea colour out of them, that's quite clear. Generally, you're fishing in hot chocolate. So that's where I sort of land when it comes on colours in dirty water. I will always opt to fish black. The Wolf Creek shads have got a lovely big paddle on the back, which gives plenty of presence in the water. Gives something for the fish to hone in on when it's not very clear. And yeah, and that one hit, one fish. I didn't have any more bites, any more plucks, nothing. Just that one hit, one fish landed. So I'll take that. I'll probably fish for maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Now I'm going to go and catch supermarkets before they shut, buy some dinner, and do a nice big roast for me and my family. Thanks for watching, guys. I know it's all very repetitive at the moment. It's all pike and perch on lures, but it's just what I've got time to do. It's very easy to grab a lure rod, grab a bag and go fishing. So I will try and vary it up, but to be honest, I just film whatever fishing I'm doing. I don't go out to fish for filming, I film my fishing. So hopefully that makes sense. So if you're still enjoying, please leave a comment. It means a lot. Any ideas on what else I can do? I've got a few cool things coming up which will be a little bit more varied, and hopefully you'll enjoy them too. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.